Okay, boys and girls, I'm going to show you where you can find your 3.2 World War I assignment on Buzz, and we're going to quickly go over how you complete this assignment. So I'm going to start by going to the Social Studies course, and I'm going to go to the HCS Supplemental Resource. We're under Module 3, Federal Expansion, and we're looking for 3.2 World War I. So I'm going to click on that. And you'll see one lesson under here titled 3.2 World War I. I'm going to click on that. And here you've got your entire assignment all on one page. So we're going to go over this and then you can go ahead and get started. Just as a reminder, the packets you picked up from your school are different. I would like you to do your Buzz assignment here on your computer, on your laptop, or your iPad, okay? So it says, note, as you work through all of the parts of the lesson, you will complete a Social Studies 3.2 assessment. See attachment below. Before you start the lesson, I would highly recommend printing out the 3.2 assessment. That way you can complete it as you go. So I'm going to scroll down all the way at the bottom. Under attachments, you've got Social Studies 3.2 assessment PDF. So if you open that, it's a 2-page assessment, and you'll notice that the assessment has many different parts. I think there's 5 parts: Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, Part 4, and Part 5. And as you go through the lesson, it tells you what numbers to complete as you go through the lesson. So I'm going to go back to the lesson. I'm going to go back to the top. It says your answers on the Social Studies 3.2 assessment sheet must come from the videos or the articles in the lesson for credit on this assignment. They cannot come from Google. So you need to make sure that you're going through each of these parts, looking at the sources that are provided, and using those sources to help you answer the questions on the assessment. The purpose of the assessment is to see if you've watched the videos, read the articles, and understand the information from the resources. It says follow the steps on this page. They will guide you through the lesson. Please use the life skill of integrity and complete the lesson in its entirety. And then it just talks about how you can complete the assessment. You obviously can print it out, or you can use your Books app, or you can screenshot and use the editing tool on your device. It just makes a note here that all of the resources are linked and they are in blue. So anything that is blue and underlined, blue, anything that's blue, some of the stuff is underlined, some of it isn't. Those are your sources. Those are links that when you click on them, they take you to a new page. So Part 1 is the World War I overview. And it says, what would be the reasons for 2 countries to become involved in a war? Why would 100 countries get involved in a war? Get ready to watch the World War I overview video to find out. And then with Part 1, boys and girls, there are 3 steps. You need to follow these 3 steps to complete Part 1's tasks. So step 1 is to take out the KWLH chart. That chart was from the previous lesson, 3.1a. You've already started that, but remember, you're going to add to this chart throughout. So you're going to take that chart out. You should have saved it in a notebook, a binder. Some of you might have done it on your iPad or your device. You're going to go back to it, and you're going to fill out the K and the W columns, writing things that you know and the things you want to know about World War I. Step 2, you're going to watch a video. You're going to click right here. It's going to open up the video. And then step 3 is to, after watching the video, is to answer questions 1 and 2 on the Social Studies 3.2 assessment. So after you're done with the video, you're going to go to the assessment and you're going to answer questions 1 and 2. And notice that they're underneath Part 1. List 3 facts that you learned, and what are 2 or 3 questions that you have about World War I after viewing the video. So what questions are you having now that you've watched the video? Part 2, once you're done with Part 1, you'll move on to Part 2, causes of World War I. You've got some questions here, guiding questions. And then again, step 1 and step 2. Step 1 is to read the article, or you can read the you can listen to the reading of the article. So if you don't want to read it yourself, you can listen to it. It's the same article. This is reading it. This is listening to it. And then you're answering question 3 on your 3.2 assessment. So you go back to your assessment, part 2, question 3. What are 3 causes of World War I? Give supporting evidence from the article for each key reason. So what are 3 reasons or causes of the war? And then what evidence can you pull from the article that supports those causes? Part 3, why did the United States enter World War I? You've got some guiding questions here to help your thinking. And you've got 2 steps here. You're going to read an article, or you can listen to the article, and then you're answering question 4 on your assessment. So once you've read the article, you're going to go to part 3, question 4, and you are writing 2 to 3 sentences explaining why and when the United States entered World War I. So you'd answer that right here. Part 4, how did World War I end? Okay, you got 2 steps here. You got a video, and then it says view the video a second time. So you're going to watch it 2 times and choose one important or interesting quote. Use this to answer question 5 of the assessment. And then you can answer question 6 as well. So part 4, you're answering question 5. What's an important quote from the video? Explain what it means in your own words. Did you choose it because it is important or because it's interesting? So there's a few questions you've got to answer. You've got to provide a quote, explain what it means in your own words, and why did you choose that quote? Was it because it's important or was it because it was interesting? And then number 6, write a summary of the video and be sure to include the main idea and the key details. Alrighty, and then the last part, part 5. Well, actually, there's 2 parts, but part 5 is the last part on your worksheet assignment. You've got 3 steps here, and you're talking about the women's roles of World War I. You've got 3 steps here. You're going to look at a primary source document, which is right here, linked in blue. You're going to look at that for 2 minutes. Then for step 2, you're going to divide the photo into quadrants or quarters, which means in 4 sections. I would make like a lowercase t across the picture. And then you're going to answer questions 7 through 9 on your assessment. For 7, list the people, the objects, and the activities you see. So you're going to list what people do you see, what objects do you see, what activities are going on that you see in the photo. Number 8, what is the main idea of the primary source poster? What's the main idea? What's the central idea that is being captured in the photo or the poster? And then number 9, what does the primary source poster tell us about the time period? What does it tell us about the perspective of the artist who created the poster? So when you see that word perspective, that kind of means like, what's their opinion? What's their point of view on the poster that they created? So what's their opinion on the poster they created? So, you know, when you look at that poster, how do they feel about what's going on in that poster? All right, and then part 6 doesn't go along with the assessment, but it's a review. There's 3 steps. Go back to your KWLH chart and complete. Sorry, my little daughter's making a lot of noise. Complete the L and H columns, including what you learned about World War I. So you're completing the L and H parts of your KWLH chart. Then step 2, you're going to upload your World War I assessment to the submission section of this lesson. And then if you want to learn more about World War I, there are 3 links here that are going to have a lot more information about World War I. We can only cover so much, but there's so much more to learn about World War I. So if you're interested in learning more, you can click on those 3 sources and do some extra reading if you'd like. Okay? And then once you're done with that assessment, you'll have a blue plus button here. You're going to click on that and submit your work.